guys, Amanda the G here, and if you had any doubts, I was a really weird kid. I was originally going to make this video like stories from my childhood, and then I realized when I was talking with my coworkers earlier this week that that probably wasn't a good idea. I realized that my childhood had a bunch of trauma and stuff in it, but I thought like the normal parts, or at least what I thought were the normal parts, evidently aren't actually all of that normal. And talking to my coworkers, they're like, that might have been child abuse, so I guess not all 8-year-olds sit around and do like home repairs and like get yelled at for not doing them appropriately. And I understand that the yelling at part was the problem, but evidently like the home repairs or like making an entire Thanksgiving dinner before you were 10 years old for your entire extended family was not normal and not what you should do to a child. So instead of that, let's talk about some of the weird shit that I believed when I was a kid. I believed very, very strongly as a small child that rabbits laid eggs. I very much believed that because of the Easter Bunny. So the Easter Bunny is a bunny. It has eggs, therefore it must lay eggs. Eventually I learned that rabbits were mammals and they have live birth, but then I had it set in my mind that the reason that the Easter Bunny delivered eggs was that he stole them from the chickens and delivered them to the human babies, and the chickens were okay with it. I thought that watchdogs were dogs that stood up on their hind legs like humans, were big and scary and filled with muscles, and wore watches on their wrists. Now, most kids think that they can fly at some point, and I did believe that I could fly because I remember having dreams that I could fly, but it wasn't just like flying. I was like standing up and walking through the air, and I was able to displace enough air with my feet to keep going, and I tried that I don't know how many times, and people don't know how many times I tried it because I tried it like every time I was alone, that I was going to be able to walk in the air. When I was really little, my brother took apart a phone and managed to make it give us shocks, and we thought it was an energy boost, and my brother told me it was an energy boost, so I believed him. I believed that that shock of putting the receiver on my arm and it like jolting my arm meant I was getting a boost of energy. I have no idea to this day how he managed to make that do that or why it wasn't taken away from us. I was completely convinced that there was a witch living in my town around the block from me in one house. I have never even seen the person who lives in that house, but I was determined a witch lived there. When we moved into the house where I spent most of my childhood, I was completely convinced that it was haunted because my brother's friend told us that it was haunted, and we of course believed him, so we went through with a child Bible and a Ouija board and blessed the house ourselves. I was also really convinced as a kid that I could communicate with the dead and I could play them music, and that if I said the right things and played the right music that they would come and take me away through my window at night and then I wouldn't have to live my life. I was pretty convinced that there was a conspiracy around juice because the juice, when you went out to a restaurant, was so much better than the juice I had at home. Turns out what was actually happening is that my mother was really, really watering down quite a lot the juice that we were drinking at home, and they don't do that in restaurants, and I just thought like restaurants get the better juice and you can't get the good juice unless you're a restaurant. Clearly I was a weird kid. That's it for today. I'm sure there's more of them. If you want to hear more of them, let me know in the comments down below. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And if you hear a whole bunch of like clattering in the background, I'm really sorry. One of my neighbors is like throwing something in the alleyway or something, so I'm gonna try and edit that sound out, but if it doesn't come out, there you go.